Khao Sok National Park, Thailand is insane. Unspoiled natural beauty, jaw-dropping landscapes, and untamed jungle. But is it really as good as it looks online, or is it just another tourist trap? We took our 2 kids into the jungle to show you what to watch out for when you're booking a tour.
Oh my word.
Is it actually worth visiting in rainy season? And a secret little cocktail bar that 99% of tourists miss. Before we start, we're a British family of 4 who've moved from Barcelona. We're a British family of 4 who've moved from Barcelona to Thailand in search of culture and adventures.
So join us to get the inside scoop on everything that's happening in Thailand from people who actually live here.
We're actually living in Phuket, so we just drove ourselves up the road about 2 hours. But if you don't have access to a car or you haven't rented one, best way to get there is by van. Coming from Krabi, Phuket or Khao Lak, it's a couple of hours and it's about 500 baht. I think that's the best way to do it. So you actually rock up to a small town about an hour away from the lake. So bear that in mind when you're coming here. You can just do a day trip from Krabi, Phuket, Khao Lak. So that is an option if you don't want to stay, but I think the town's kind of fun, kind of vibey.
Yeah, it's quite cute to stay so close to the national park.
We stayed in a place called Bamboo Lodge.
And we had a little family bungalow. It was so cute in the forest out of the back, just a few minutes walk from the centre of the town.
The room setup was pretty basic, but we had bunk beds and a double bed and a little veranda thing so we could hang out in the evening when the kids were sleeping, which was wicked.
The hotel had breakfast included, it had a great pool, and it was super close to the town. And we paid about 5,000 baht for a 2-night stay, which was not bad. It was just the beginning of rainy season, so we'll get into that a bit later about what actually happened and what we thought the weather might or might not be like. But yeah, the hotel was great. After the drive up there, we just hung out by the pool at the hotel and then took a walk into the town for dinner.
The town's pretty cute. It's kind of a backpacker town. Loads of little bars and restaurants. You can get dinner pretty easily and pretty cheaply. First night we just found somewhere and dove in. The kids were pretty tired from the journey.
There's also loads of places in the town where you can book your tour if your hotel or hostel doesn't offer it. But we found that where we were staying, there was loads of tour options available. And I think most places probably have that service too.
I think you can just rock up the day before and then book your tour, especially in rainy season. I would recommend against booking online because you're going to get ripped off.
Also, you don't want to book too far in advance if you're going to be there for a few days because you might want to keep an eye on what the weather's doing. In the national park, it's quite different from the rest of the area. So it could be bright sunshine in Phuket and then it could be crazy storms in Khao Sok.
Okay, so booking your tour. There's basically 3 types of tour. First one's like miscellaneous. There's loads of different little tours you can do, staying in the jungle overnight, that sort of thing. The second one's the one we did, so we'll talk about that in a bit. And then the third one is you can actually stay on the lake in the little floating huts. That looks sick, but it was too much for the kids because we got young kids to all stay in one bungalow in one bed. We just thought it'd be stress, so we decided not to. But I think if we had older kids or we were on our own, I think we'd do that one.
We got picked up around 8 in the morning by a little minivan which drove us about an hour to the lake. We got there, had a chance to grab a coffee. We paid our entrance fee for the national park there, which you have to pay in cash. And then we hopped on a longtail and oh my gosh, it was just out of this world.
This old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find somewhere to hide when we were kids, so we could see and hear the water run. The river's gonna cry when you're gone.
So the first part of the tour is a lot of photo taking, sightseeing and just exploring the lake really. And then we had lunch next to the floating huts, which was pretty good. There was an absolute ton of food and I think they catered for everyone's preferences. And then we hung out and we could have a little swim if we wanted or just relax before we got back on the boat to go for the jungle tour.
So the jungle tour was super fun. The boat just rocks up to the edge of the lake. You hop off, and our tour guide, who'd been pretty quiet for most of the morning, absolutely came to life. He was having the best time telling us all about the different plants and the nature, showing us about the vines that you could climb, talking about the animals that live there. It was really fun, and the kids absolutely loved it.
It was probably the kids' favourite part, and our guide made them little jungle crowns, which they were so stoked with.
Just as we were coming out of the jungle, it had started to spot a little bit. There was a little bit of rain in the air. We made it back onto the boat, and then the heavens opened. We had to stop the boat a little bit further away than normal, something to do with the weather, but that was fine. We parked up, hopped off the boat, had a little walk down to the cave entrance.
Because it had been raining, it was really slippery and muddy. One of our kids stacked it into the mud and had to be taken off to go wash all the mud off. And I was carrying the boy over some slippery stairs and stuff, which wasn't the best. And it was honestly a little bit sketchy. The cave was really fun. The kids loved it, especially seeing things like bats and spiders and cool stuff like that. But it was a bit sketchy. Also, the tour guide said to us before we went in the cave, don't hit your head, it's a long way back to the hospital. And as we were coming out, some guy absolutely smacked his head, bleeding everywhere, and it did look like a long ride back.
Oh my word.
Watch your head.
Yeah.
I speak with some experience.
So, rainy season. I honestly like visiting places in rainy season because it's cheaper, it's less busy, and it's just a bit more vibey. But the payoff for that is you don't know what the weather's going to be like. And I think that if it was raining all day and it was wet and muddy all day, it would have been a bit miserable.
Yeah, we were really lucky that we got the sun for all of the morning, and then we got to see the lake in a completely different view when it was like rainy and stormy. It was quite cool.
But on balance for me, I think rainy season's a good time to visit. Instagram versus reality. So, it is unbelievable. The scenery is insane. Some of the best views in the world. But you are on a boat with 12, 15 other people, and you have to wait your turn. And it is a little bit Instagram versus reality. So, I don't mind personally, but I think if that's something that bothers you, the best thing to do is get a private tour. It costs about 1,500 baht per adult and about 500 baht per kid, which I think is pretty awesome really.
Yeah.
That was for the group tour. I think private tours can be a bit more expensive. That price is pretty much the same wherever you get the tour from. I can vouch for the Royal Bamboo Lodge tour because we did it. My only advice is don't book online before you come in. Just get to the lake and then book from there, because otherwise you're going to get ripped off.
On the first night, we spotted a golf cart going up a little alleyway, and that obviously caught our attention a little bit. So after the tour, when we went into the town for dinner, we decided to go and see what it was all about.
And it took us to the sickest little restaurant in the town. You rock up to this Japanese looking garden and the vibes are super nice. Food's amazing. Cocktails were probably the best we've had so far in
Definitely
Thailand.
the best that we'd had so far in Thailand at this point.
And the prices were basically the same as in town. My top tip for eating in Khao Sok is going to be Thanyuana Lakeside Restaurant. Just look out for the golf buggy. Super nice. Vibey.